Chapter 5.
You are the children of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead, for you are a holy people unto the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which you shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the mountain sheep. And every beast that parts the hoof, and cleaves the cleft into two claws, and chews the cud among the beasts, that you shall eat. Nevertheless, these you shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof, therefore they are unclean unto you. And the swine, because it divides the hoof yet chews not the cud, it is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These you shall eat of all that are in the waters, all that have fins and scales shall you eat. And whatever has not fins and scales you may not eat, it is unclean unto you. Of all clean birds you shall eat. But these are they of which you shall not eat, the eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the glede, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the night hawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gyre eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. And every creeping thing that flies is unclean unto you, they shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls you may eat. You shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. You shall not give it unto the stranger that is in your gates that he may eat it, or you may not sell it unto a foreigner, for you are a holy people unto the Lord your God. You shall not boil a kid in his mother's milk. You shall truly tithe all the increase of your seed that the field brings forth year by year. And you shall eat before the Lord your God, in the place which he shall choose to place his name there, the tithe of your grain, of your wine, and of your oil, and the firstlings of your herds and of your flocks, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. And if the way is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry it, or if the place is too far from you which the Lord your God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord your God has blessed you, then shall you turn it into money, and bind up the money in your hand, and shall go unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And you shall bestow that money for whatever your soul lusts after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatever your soul desires, and you shall eat there before the Lord your God, and you shall rejoice, you, and your household. And the Levite that is within your gates, you shall not forsake him, for he has no part nor inheritance with you. At the end of 3 years, you shall bring forth all the tithe of your increase the same year, and shall lay it up within your gates. And the Levite, because he has no part nor inheritance with you, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow who are within your gates shall come, and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. At the end of every 7 years, you shall make a release. And this is the manner of the release: every creditor that lends anything unto his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called the Lord's release. Of a foreigner, you may exact it again, but that which is yours with your brother, your hand shall release, save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance to possess it, only if you carefully listen unto the voice of the Lord your God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command you this day. For the Lord your God blesses you as he promised you. And you shall lend unto many nations, but you shall not borrow, and you shall reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. If there is among you a poor man of one of your brethren, within any of your gates in your land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from your poor brother, but you shall open your hand wide unto him and shall surely lend him sufficient for his need and that which he lacks. Beware that there be not a thought in your wicked heart saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and your eye be evil against your poor brother and you give him naught, and he cry unto the Lord against you, and it be sin unto you. You shall surely give him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give unto him, because for this thing the Lord your God shall bless you in all your works and in all that you put your hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore, I command you, saying, You shall open your hand wide unto your brother, to your poor, and to your needy in your land. And if your brother, a Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman, is sold unto you, and serve you 6 years, then in the 7th year you shall let him go free from you. And when you send him out free from you, you shall not let him go away empty. You shall furnish him liberally out of your flock, and out of your floor, and out of your winepress. Of that with which the Lord your God has blessed you, you shall give unto him. And you shall remember that you were a bondman in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore, I command you this thing today. And it shall be, if he say unto you, I will not go away from you, because he loves you in your house, because he is well with you, then you shall take an awl, and thrust it through his ear unto the door, and he shall be your servant forever. And also unto your maidservant, you shall do likewise. It shall not seem hard unto you when you send him away free from you, for he has been worth a double hired servant to you in serving you 6 years. And the Lord your God shall bless you in all that you do. All the firstling males that come of your herd and of your flock, you shall sanctify unto the Lord your God. You shall do no work with the firstling of your bullock, nor shear the firstling of your sheep. You shall eat it before the Lord your God year by year in the place which the Lord shall choose, you and your household. And if there is any blemish therein, as if it is lame, or blind, or have any ill blemish, you shall not sacrifice it unto the Lord your God. You shall eat it within your gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only you shall not eat the blood thereof, you shall pour it upon the ground as water. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord your God, for in the month of Abib, the Lord your God brought you forth out of Egypt by night. You shall therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord your God, of the flock and the herd, in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. You shall eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread with it, even the bread of affliction, for you came forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that you may remember the day when you came forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of your life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with you in all your borders 7 days, neither shall anything of the flesh which you sacrifice the first day at sunset remain all night until the morning. You may not sacrifice the Passover within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, but at the place which the Lord your God shall choose to place his name in, there you shall sacrifice the Passover at sunset, at the going down of the sun, at the season that you came forth out of Egypt. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And you shall turn in the morning and go unto your tents. 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God, you shall do no work therein. 7 weeks shall you number unto you. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as you begin to put the sickle to the grain. And you shall keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord your God with a tribute of a freewill offering of your hand, which you shall give unto the Lord your God according as the Lord your God has blessed you. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you, and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite that is within your gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord your God has chosen to place his name there. And you shall remember that you were a bondman in Egypt, and you shall observe and do these statutes. You shall observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, after you have gathered in your grain and your wine. And you shall rejoice in your feast, you, and your son, and your daughter, and your manservant, and your maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within your gates. 7 days shall you keep a solemn feast unto the Lord your God in the place which the Lord shall choose. Because the Lord your God shall bless you in all your increase, and in all the works of your hands, therefore you shall surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all your males appear before the Lord your God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty, every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God which he has given you. Judges and officers shall you make in all your gates which the Lord your God gives you throughout your tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. You shall not wrest judgment, you shall not respect persons, neither take a bribe, for a bribe does blind the eyes of the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shall you follow, that you may live and inherit the land which the Lord your God gives you. You shall not plant a grove of any trees near unto the altar of the Lord your God which you shall make yourself. Neither shall you set yourself up any image which the Lord your God hates. You shall not sacrifice unto the Lord your God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish or any ill-favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord your God. If there is found among you, within any of your gates which the Lord your God gives you, man or woman that has wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord your God, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun, or moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it is told to you, and you have heard of it and inquired diligently, and behold, it is true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel. Then shall you bring forth that man or that woman who have committed that wicked thing unto your gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones until they die. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness, he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witnesses shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So shall you put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for you in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, and between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within your gates, then shall you arise and go up into the place which the Lord your God shall choose. And you shall come unto the priests, the Levites, and unto the judge that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show you the sentence of judgment. And you shall do according to the sentence which they of that place which the Lord shall choose shall show you, and you shall observe to do according to all that they inform you, according to the sentence of the law which they shall teach you. And according to the judgment which they shall tell you, you shall do. You shall not decline from the sentence which they shall show you, to the right hand, nor to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously, and will not listen unto the priest that stands to minister there before the Lord your God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and you shall put away the evil from Israel. And all the people shall hear, and fear, and do no more presumptuously.